Now, with Christmas just around the corner, Savour Kilkenny Food Festival is back to you again to actually show you how to make the stuffing for your turkey. If you're using a turkey, or you might be using goose, or you might be using a chicken, or you might be having a strip line of beef, I have no idea. But we're going to give you a stuffing that will do either chicken, pork, or a duck, whichever you like. Or if you have a goose, the same thing could go into it. You could even put prunes in it if you're actually doing it for a goose. You can make this stuffing in advance, and you don't have to cook it until Christmas morning. Take it out of your freezer the day before, and it's absolutely perfect. You don't have to. I'm doing some in a tin here today because we don't have a turkey as such. They're not just. I think they'll be out the week after next, or sometime in the middle of next week you will have them. And then I'm going to actually put it into a tin, and you're going to bake it, because you never have enough stuffing really. So many people would say, "Oh my God, that stuffing was gorgeous. Is there any more left?" And no, because the cavity of a bird is only so big. Can I just say one word about the cavity of the bird? And he said, don't be afraid to stuff your turkey. Don't worry about what other people say, that it won't be cooked in the middle. Of course it will. It's not really like we like. Most people today have a 10 to 12 hour turkey. Years ago, and even when I was younger, they used to be 24, 25, and they couldn't even get them into the oven. They'd nearly be pushing them into the oven to make sure that it actually fits in. Nowadays, 10, 12, 14 pound turkey is as much as you probably use. So here we are, for the stuffing, we've melted some butter, okay, and we're going to put it over here. And then to that, we're going to add some onion, which we've chopped up here. We're also going to add some celery, and celery is great for stuffing as well. And finally, we're going to add some walnuts and some apricots, so some of those. Now, if there are any of those you don't like, you have to put in the onion, but if there are any of those things that you don't like, like people that are allergic to nuts or something like that, don't worry about it, just omit them out of it. So here we are. We're going to cook it up there. They take just a few minutes actually to cook up there. It won't take that long. Make sure you put in a bit of salt and pepper as well. So we have a salt stick here, a little bit of salt, and a bit of pepper as well. So there we go. You know, when you're using your peppermints as well, always go in the one direction. Don't go over the back, because it hits the battles on the back. This one here is about 40 years old. You can see the wood is all stained from the bottom, but at the same time it's still working perfectly. And there's so many of them that you get and they don't work perfectly. So yeah, so going to do that. Now we're going to cook up this here, and these have been cooking up for about 2 or 3 minutes now, and just a little bit more, and then they're ready. And then we're going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so here we are. We have them cooked up here, and into that we're going to add a little bit of sage and parsley as well. Okay, so we have sage and parsley here. And lots of sage here, and we have that growing as well in the polytunnel here in Royal House Cookery, and we have that as well. Now, so here we go. So I'm sure now you're all getting very excited about Christmas, seeing that you have so many bits and pieces done, and I hope you have some of what I've been doing over the last few weeks. It's been a pleasure actually getting it all sorted, and of course it makes us excited about Christmas as well. Just have a knife there now. I'm just going to cut up this here very short, just leave that for a second. Anyway, you get loads of herbs around Christmas time because they all come in a bag. You have rosemary and sage and onion, and you'll have parsley, and all that will all come in a little package. A lot of the supermarkets do for that sort of Christmas. So they go there. So then we're just going to mix this up there now with a wooden spoon, and we're going to mix it there together. Don't make it too wet, because I have bacon around it, and even when you have it with in a turkey, the certain juices will come up, And the other thing I would say to you with your turkey as well, make sure you put in greaseproof paper in the cavity. That stops all the bits of bones and things like that getting to the lovely stuffing, so you won't have any bitter pieces. So that in itself is absolutely perfect. So now we'll put this in here. And it fits perfectly into 2 pound loaf tin. So I'm just going to spread it out. And any bits of bacon that are there that can come across, just bring them across there with it as well. And put it into an oven. Now it'll take this, don't cook this before Christmas. You put it in as it is raw like this here. Cook it on Christmas Day, because if you cook it and freeze it, take it out, it's never the same. Again, take it away from the freezer the night before, and then sort of have it just pop into the oven. About a half an hour or so before you actually serve the turkey, and it'll give you extra stuffing. So here we have one that we sorted out earlier. Yes, just taking this out of the way. And we're going to do some kind of bacon there. And it looks like, you see, it shrinks down as you sort of push it into the oven there. So we're going to get this here. Just turn it over. And you see how lovely it is. You have the lovely bacon there. I'm going to put a few little bits of greenery around it. Okay, a bit more. And there we are. That is our lovely stuffing, and you can either use it as it is, and I'll just show you how it actually cuts in the middle there, and you see the lovely, look at the lovely steam just coming right out of it, straight out of the oven there. So that's your stuffing with your some lettuce leaves, a bit of parsley, or whatever you happen to have at the particular time. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is you can do this with a ham, or you can do it with a loin of bacon. Now we're using it with a loin of bacon that is actually off of the bone, on the bone, I beg your pardon, and it's on the bone. So I'm going to, whoops, that was a little bit sage I want to put in there as well. So we just take this out of the way for just a few minutes, and we'll actually get over to this here. So what we did was really, we boiled, you can boil the ham for about 3.5 pounds of ham, or this is a rack of bacon. You can boil it for about an hour and a half. And then you can put some stock into it and put it in the oven. And when you put it in the oven there, you're actually going to put some cloves into it, and you're going to put some mustard and some apple jelly mixed together. So you're going to put that on top of there. And then the next thing then what we're going to do is we have, I'm going to strain off this here, juices. And in here in the saucepan, I have some orange and lemon rind, and I have a little bit of the red of the apple jelly as well, with the mustard in it. So all those are actually inside of that. I'm just going to get a plate here now. I'm going to put this on top of there. And with it on the rack, it's absolutely fabulous. You won't get it in, you won't get the rack everywhere, but if you order from your butcher, of course you will, or into your supermarket and ask the butcher there to actually go and cut your piece like that. It's just leave the bone out. The bone in anything is much nicer. Now if you want to, you'll find that some supermarket will have hand cut pieces of ham. And go for them, because the pieces of ham that are cut, they are cut where it's just cut to size. Whereas oftentimes you will see the piece of ham and it's wrapped in a kind of a plastic thing, and there are bits in the middle of it, and that they fall out. So make sure they're hand cut or hand tied piece of ham that you're sort of looking for. We're going to put a few oranges and lemons around here as well. Okay, here we are, and then we're going to just put the glaze over it. And this actually serves absolutely beautiful. You can do it any day of the week, but now you can even try it out before Christmas if you want to, maybe next week. You can actually have a go at it, so depending on whatever way you want it. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to get now it's just ready. This is the last piece. The oranges and the smell my God, it's just wafting the whole lot. And we're just going to pour that right down over a piece of bacon here, but you can use ham if you want to. Basically is. So that is your ham, and I'll bring you back your stuff in there as well. And then oops, all ready for you, and then I'll cut you just a little bit of ham there. So I'll just have a little bit there. Take these on the way. And bring you over your stuffing. And you're going to put it in there. And then you just cut down a little bit there on the side so you can see what it is actually like. It's lovely and juicy because you haven't overcooked it. So there you go. You see that lovely juicy piece of bacon there. So there you are. So that's our hammer bacon with the Madeira dressing, and we have a bit of Madeira in that as well. I'm sorry I didn't tell you as well, but there is Madeira in it. And then into this here we have our stuffing. You can use streaky rashers or you can use back rashers, depending on what you have at a particular time. But either way, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So now we have another 2 weeks, I think, left with you. So next week, what we're going to be doing actually is we're going to do a starter and a pre-starter. So if you have friends coming over and you want to, what I say, give them some nibbles and bites of drinks, and hopefully COVID will be as good as it is at the moment, which is very good. And there we are. So look, we'll talk to you next week. Take care.